My mother's Christmas parties were always loud choirs of laughter, clinking glasses, Sinatra humming through the speakers. But the moment I stepped through the front door with my daughter Mila, the noise collapsed into a suffocating silence. Dozens of eyes shifted toward us, some widened, some darted away. And my sister Lily, standing by the 12-foot tree wrapped in gold ribbons, looked at me with a smile so cold it felt rehearsed. Mila squeezed my hand. "Mom, why did everyone stop talking?" Before I could answer, an ornament slipped from her glove. A small red glass sphere rolled across the floor and tapped against Lily's heels. She crouched, picked it up slowly, and turned it in her hand as if it were evidence of a crime. Then everything happened at once. Lily grabbed Mila's wrist with a practiced flick and slapped her across the face, one sharp crack tearing through the silence. Mila gasped, frozen. Lily slapped her again, and again, 3 times, hard enough that Mila stumbled back and crashed onto the hardwood floor. My parents clapped, not startled applause, not shocked. They clapped as if Lily had just performed a recital. My mother's voice drifted over the stunned quiet. "That's how she has to learn to behave." My blood ran cold, my vision tunneled. I didn't scream, I didn't push Lily, I didn't even breathe. I just took one step toward my daughter, lifted her into my arms, and felt her small body shake against mine. Then I straightened, pulled out my phone, and dialed the one number my family hoped I would never call. When the voice answered, half the room turned pale. "Detective Rowan," I said quietly. It happened again. I ended the call before anyone could snatch the phone from my hand. Lily's expression flickered from triumph to confusion to something close to terror. My mother stepped forward first. "Caroline, what do you think you're doing?" "Protecting my child," I said, keeping my voice steady. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my fingers, but I refused to let them see fear. "You're hysterical," she snapped. It was a correction. "She's 7. I pulled Mila behind me. Her cheek was already swelling. "And you applauded." Whispers stirred around us. Guests glanced toward the door as if expecting an explosion. They weren't wrong. My father attempted a placid smile that barely held. "Let's not overreact, Caroline. You know how children can be." "She dropped an ornament," I said, "and your other daughter assaulted her." A cousin near the fireplace flinched. Another relative muttered something like, "Not again," before shrinking into the shadows. My mother scowled at them. "Everyone stop this nonsense." Lily was disciplining her niece as any proper aunt would. Mila pressed her face into my hip, sobbing quietly. I smoothed her hair and whispered, "You're safe." The words felt fragile. I wasn't sure I believed them, not yet. Lily finally spoke. "Oh, come on, Caroline." Kids bounce back. Her voice was light, but her eyes were sharp, watching the room, calculating each reaction. "Maybe if you'd actually taught her respect. My voice dropped. "Is that what you call this?" Her lips curled into a smile that made my stomach twist. Some children only learn when they're shown who's in charge. I could feel something shift in the room, like a held breath before a storm. Even people who usually admired Lily edged away from her. I stepped forward, placing myself fully between her and my daughter. "You will not touch her again." Lily's smile twitched. "You won't be able to protect her forever." My mother gasped. "Lily." But Lily wasn't finished. She leaned in just enough for me to hear. "Just like Evan. He thought he could walk away too." A cold bolt shot down my spine. "You don't get to bring him into this," I said. Her laugh was soft and cruel. "You called Rowan. What do you think he's coming for?" I froze. She knew. She knew exactly what Rowan believed, what he suspected the night Evan died. And her smirk told me she wasn't scared of me, but she was terrified of him. Aunt Meredith, who usually avoided conflict like poison, spoke up from behind a table of gingerbread platters. "Caroline, take the child home. This isn't a good place tonight." My mother spun toward her. "Meredith, stay out of this." But Meredith's eyes didn't leave mine. Not tonight. Please. The lights on the tree flickered. Somewhere in the kitchen, a dish clattered. The house felt unstable, vibrating with tension. I could see it now, the fear behind the faces, the secrets pressing up beneath the walls like trapped air. These people weren't shocked by Lily. They were terrified of what might follow. Lily tossed her hair back and strutted toward the table. Overreacting as always, Caroline. You want to make a scene? Go ahead. My father tried again, voice trembling. Please, both of you, let's calm down. But he was cut off as a tinny vibration hummed from my phone. A text from Rowan. 10 minutes. Lily's face drained of color. My mother reached out as if she could physically snatch the message from the air. Caroline, shut your phone off. Now. No, I said simply. You're going to destroy your own sister, she hissed. She did that herself. I placed a hand on Mila's back, feeling her tiny heartbeat flutter. The only person I'm here to protect is my daughter. You always wanted to punish Lily, my mother snapped. I met her eyes. No, I wanted someone to believe me. The words slipped out before I could stop them. For a second, the room seemed to freeze. Even Lily's hand paused mid-reach for a cookie. My mother's jaw clenched. We buried that foolishness 2 years ago. No, I whispered. You covered it. Lily took a step toward me, shaking. Don't say another word. But I wasn't speaking to her anymore. I was speaking to the truth. A sudden knock rattled the front door, 3 sharp, deliberate strikes. Gasps rippled through the party. The color drained from my father's face. My mother swore under her breath. Lily whispered, horrified, He's here. I held Mila tight and stepped back. My heart steady now, no longer trembling. The house had spent years silencing me. Tonight it would listen. I exhaled slowly. Good, I said. Let him in. 2 years earlier, the phone rang at 10:23 on a stormy night, and my father's voice came through sounding too calm, too rehearsed. He said Evan had fallen down the stairs, and that everything happened too fast for anyone to help. I remember standing in my kitchen, staring at the blinking light on the microwave, unable to process the words. Fallen. Dead. Accident. All delivered with the emotional weight of someone announcing a late package delivery. And then he said something that still chills me now. Don't come over tonight. Lily doesn't want visitors. Lily didn't want visitors. Not we're in shock. Not don't drive in the storm. Not we're waiting for the police. Just a direct command from my parents relayed like scripture, as if Lily's wishes were the only ones that mattered. I knew instantly something was wrong. I knew, but I didn't say it aloud. Not that night. I barely slept. By dawn, the storm had passed, leaving the world washed and quiet. I drove straight to the morgue. I told myself I needed to be there for Lily, to support her, to make sense of what happened. But the truth was simpler and sharper. I needed to see Evan with my own eyes. I needed to know if the story made sense. I needed to know if my instincts were lying to me. They weren't. The mortuary lights were harsh and cold, humming softly overhead. Evan lay on the metal table, covered to the collarbone with a white sheet. He looked peaceful in a way that didn't match the violent story of a fall down hardwood stairs. I stepped closer and brushed a curl of hair from his forehead, something Lily used to do when she wanted to appear tender. And then I saw them. 4 deep, curved scratches along the left side of his neck. Not surface scrapes. Not accidental contact. These were fingernail marks, longer, deeper, angrier than any fall could make. What caused these? I whispered. The mortician hesitated, his eyes flicking to the hallway before answering. Ma'am, those aren't consistent with a staircase injury. I snapped a picture on my phone before I could think. My hands were shaking not from fear, but from certainty. I didn't have proof of anything yet, but I knew. And if I knew, then my parents definitely knew. And Lily, God, Lily had to know. I drove to my parents' house, Evan's house too, my heart pounding. The driveway was already full of cars. People crowded inside, whispering tearfully, touching Lily's arm, offering casseroles. It looked like a scene from a tragedy. Except the leading actress wasn't crying. Lily sat on the couch, wrapped in a cream blanket, her makeup perfect, her eyes dry. A mug of tea steamed on the side table. She looked like someone resting after a long rehearsal, not someone who lost her husband 12 hours earlier. I approached her slowly. "Lily," I said softly. "I'm so sorry." She turned toward me with a practiced expression of grief. A soft lip tremble. A lowered gaze. I'd seen her perform before at school plays, at Christmas parties, at charity events. But never with a dead husband in the next room. "Thank you," she whispered. I sat beside her and lowered my voice. I went to see Evan. Her eyes flicked up sharply. Why I needed to understand. "There's nothing to understand," she snapped. I pulled out my phone and angled the screen just enough so only she could see. "Then tell me what these are." Her face changed in an instant. The trembling lip vanished, replaced by a flash of pure rage. She snatched the phone from my hand so fast I barely reacted. "Delete it." "No," I said quietly. She stood up abruptly, the blanket dropping to the floor. "Are you accusing me of something? My husband dies and you think you can." My mother rushed into the room like a storm wind. "What's going on?" Lily thrust the phone at her. "She's spreading lies. She thinks I killed Evan." My mother grabbed my arm in a tight, bruising grip. "Delete the photo." I stared straight at her. "Why?" Her jaw tensed. "Because you didn't see anything." My father appeared behind her eyes, downcast. He wouldn't meet my gaze. He never did when my mother was involved. "You're upsetting your sister," he murmured. "This is not the time." But the time was already gone. Something inside me broke. Something that had been cracking for years. I left the house because staying felt like suffocating. I expected at least one message, one question, 1 ounce of compassion. None came. 2 nights later, my mother summoned the entire family for dinner. A family meeting, she called it. I walked into their home knowing nothing had changed but hoping I was wrong. Dinner was silent at first, thick, heavy. Then my mother cleared her throat. "What happened to Evan was a tragedy," she began. "But Caroline, your behavior since then has been unacceptable." "My behavior?" My voice felt foreign in my throat. "You are spreading stories," she continued, eyes hardening. "You are trying to damage this family." "I took one picture," I said. "Because something didn't add up." Lily scoffed. "Maybe you should worry about your own life instead of meddling in mine." My mother folded her hands. "This family will stay unified. We do not question each other. We do not bring shame to the Palmer name. If you insist on digging into something that was clearly an accident, then you are on your own." "Do you understand?" "Is that a threat?" I asked. "It's a boundary," she replied coolly. "Accept the accident or consider yourself no longer part of this family." She didn't ask if I was grieving. She didn't ask if I was scared. She didn't ask if I was okay. She asked for obedience. I pushed my chair back, stood up, and said nothing. I didn't trust myself to speak. On my way out the door, my father followed me into the cold night air. The porch light cast a lonely glow on his tired eyes. "Caroline," he whispered, "don't go looking for answers. It's not safe." I turned to him slowly. "Not safe for who?" He looked at the door, then back at me. "Just don't." He went inside and closed the door. I heard the lock click behind him. From that night on, I kept my distance. I protected Mila from the gatherings, the pretense, the quiet violence that wasn't physical but felt sharp enough to cut. But the truth never left me. And as I sat in my bedroom months later watching rain streak down the window, Rowan called me for the first time. He was the detective assigned to Evan's case, and he sounded frustrated. "I can't prove it," he said. But your instincts were right, Caroline. Something about that night doesn't make sense. If she ever hurts someone again, call me." Those words followed me for 2 years. They sank deep into my bones. They slept beside my fear. And when Lily slapped Mila in front of the Christmas tree, when she hit her 3 times without blinking, when my parents applauded like she'd done something good, I knew exactly what Rowan meant. Violence doesn't start with a murder. It starts with a slap. By the time I walked back into the living room with Mila pressed against my side, the Christmas party had already shifted into something that no longer resembled a holiday gathering. The air was stiff, heavy, dusted with fear instead of cinnamon. Guests who moments earlier had been laughing over wine were now standing rigidly near walls' glasses untouched. Conversations died the moment I stepped in. A few relatives looked at me with sympathy. Others looked away, pretending to admire ornaments or adjust their scarves. But all of them were listening. Mila clung to the hem of my sweater, her cheek swollen and blotched pink. She stayed quiet as if speaking might invite another slap. My mother hovered near the kitchen doorway, whispering orders under her breath, like a general trying to salvage a losing battle. My father paced near the tree, his eyes darting toward the door every few seconds, as if checking how close Rowan might be. But it was the guests that unsettled me most. 2 aunts whispered behind a cluster of poinsettias. "That girl, her temper. It's happening again. Again." The word struck like a stone to the chest. I scanned the room searching for Lily, but she had vanished. Music still trickled through the speakers, something soft and slow, crooning about peace and snowfalls, but it sounded grotesque now, like a lullaby humming over a battlefield. I took Mila to a quiet corner near the staircase and knelt down to wipe her cheek. "Does it hurt?" I whispered. She nodded. "A little. I'm here. Nobody touches you again." Her eyes flicked toward the crowd. "Why did Aunt Lily hit me, Mom?" My throat tightened around the truth I couldn't yet say. "Because she's not well. And because she was wrong." Mila leaned into me, small and trembling, the way Evan used to lean toward me during tense family dinners. The memory stung sharp and sudden. And then, as if summoned by the very thought of her, Lily reappeared at the top of the stairs. She descended with deliberate slowness, the kind of entrance she'd practiced at pageant auditions. Her makeup was freshly applied hair, smooth lipstick retouched. The only trace of the earlier slap was the faint tremor in her hand. "Look at you!" she chirped brightly, her voice slicing through the air. Still sulking, a few guests flinched. My mother snapped her head up and forced a brittle smile. "Everyone." "Dessert is ready," she announced, as if that could erase what had just happened. But Lily ignored her. She walked straight toward us. I rose to my feet, placing myself fully between her and Mila. Lily's smile didn't waver. "Still dramatic, I see. You always had a flair for ruining holidays." Mila pressed her face into my hip. "Don't come closer," I said. Lily tilted her head. "Or what you'll call your detective again. You know exactly why he's coming." A muscle twitched in her jaw. "I didn't do anything wrong. You assaulted a 7-year-old child." "Please," she scoffed. "Kids exaggerate. And Mila needs discipline. Someone has to teach her manners. You don't get to teach my daughter anything." Lily took one more step forward before I moved closer, blocking her path. Her eyes flashed. For the briefest moment, I saw it something animalistic, panicked, violent. The same look Evan described months before he died. "You think you're protecting her," Lily whispered tightly. "But you're just making everything worse." "Explain that to me," I said. "Explain how defending my child makes anything worse." "I said step back," she snapped suddenly, loud enough to silence the room. My mother rushed over, grabbing Lily's arm. "Stop it, Lily, please!" But Lily jerked free and glared at her. "You said she'd keep quiet. You promised." A ripple of murmurs swept through the guests. My breath caught. "What did she promise?" I asked quietly. Lily blinked, realizing too late she had said too much. "Nothing," Just nothing. Then she laughed brittle and high. God listened to you. After all these years still trying to play hero. I exhaled slowly, fighting to keep my voice steady. This isn't about years. This is about tonight. It's always about tonight, Lily snapped. It's always about what I do wrong, what I say, how I act. You never look at yourself. I don't hit children, I said softly. Her eyes hardened. Neither did I. A lie sharp enough to cut. Across the room, Aunt Meredith made the sign of the cross. Someone else muttered, "She's losing it." The atmosphere thickened. The party wasn't a party anymore. It was a stage set for collapse. My father tried once more to intervene, stepping between us with trembling hands. "Girls, please. We can talk about this calmly." But Lily shoved him. Hard. He stumbled back, colliding with a coffee table. Gasps filled the room. I grabbed Mila, pushing her gently behind me. "Enough." Lily turned on my father. "Why are you even talking? You never do anything. You didn't do anything that night, and you're not going to do anything now." My father flinched, as if she'd struck him. My mother's face drained of color. "Lily, stop." But Lily was shaking now, pacing, muttering under her breath. "No one listens. No one understands. Everyone leaves." She threw a wine glass into the sink. It shattered with a deafening crash. Guests backed away. Some slipped out into the hallway, pretending to take calls, refusing to meet anyone's eyes. Others hovered between wanting to intervene and wanting to flee. I watched Lily unravel the threads of her carefully curated composure coming undone. This wasn't the confident, glamorous version of her she showed to the world. This was someone fractured, unpredictable, dangerous. She looked up, her breathing harsh. "Do you want to know why she hit me?" she shouted, suddenly pointing at me. "Because she's jealous. She always has been. She wants everyone to think she's better." I cut her off. "Stop lying. You hit Mila. You can't twist that into my fault." She dropped an ornament, Lily screamed, as if that justified everything. "She's a child," I said. "And you are out of control." Lily's breathing quickened. "You don't know what it's like. You don't know what people put me through, what people I asked." Her gaze flicked to the stairs. "No one," she whispered quickly. "Forget it." But it was too late. She'd already said enough to ignite another round of uneasy whispers among the guests. And then the room fell silent again. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out. A text. 5 minutes. A tremor ran through Lily. Her eyes darted to the door. My mother lunged toward me. "Caroline, don't! You need to stop this. You're tearing our family apart." I looked at her steadily. It was already torn. You just refused to see it. Lily took a step backward, her face pale. "You shouldn't have called him. You shouldn't have hit my daughter." Her voice cracked. "You think he's coming for you? He's coming for me." I didn't respond. I didn't have to, because just then the faint glow of red and blue lights flickered across the frosted window pane. Guests gasped, some backed away, some froze. Lily stared at the door, her body shaking. "He's here," she whispered. I lifted Mila into my arms and held her close. She tucked her face into my shoulder. For 2 years, fear had wrapped itself around my memories of Evan, my suspicions, my unanswered questions. But tonight, that fear dissolved into something new. Resolve. "Good," I whispered. "Let's end this." I replayed the moment of the slap in my head as the house buzzed with fear, the Christmas lights flickering like they too were nervous. In my memory, it slowed down the arc of Lily's arm, rising the sharp snap of her palm against Mila's cheek, the stunned gasp from my daughter as she stumbled backward. But it wasn't the sound that haunted me. It was the look on Lily's face. There had been no anger, no frustration, no adrenaline. It was controlled, measured, calculated. A strike delivered by someone who'd done it before. And beneath that, something darker. Right before her hand came down, Lily had leaned in and whispered something into Mila's ear. I hadn't caught it in the chaos, but now with the room tense and still, the words returned in a shiver. She said, "I'm like him," Mila whispered, when I asked her quietly tucked in a corner. Like Uncle Evan." She said he didn't listen either. My breath stilled. She said that Mila nodded, trembling. She said she'd make me listen too. A coldness spread through me as if someone had poured ice water down my spine. The echo was unmistakable. Lily hadn't been reacting to a broken ornament. She had been reenacting something, repeating a script she had followed before. I pulled Mila tighter against me. Lily wasn't just lashing out, she was slipping, cracking, and her instinct was always the same: violence. My parents' applause, their horrifying casual applause, began to make a sick sense. They weren't shocked because they had seen this kind of thing from Lily for years, probably her entire life. More importantly, they approved of it. I watched them from across the room now, my mother stiff and pale, whispering furiously to a cluster of relatives, my father pacing like he was waiting for a bomb to go off, and Lily, the eye of the storm, standing in the kitchen doorway with a trembling smile glued to her lips. Suddenly the pieces clicked. The applause wasn't for Mila. It was for Lily. A reward. A reinforcement. A ritual. Something they had taught her. Something they had normalized. I swallowed hard. My mother once told me when I was 10, "Children must fear someone. That's how they learn respect." Back then I thought she was trying to be wise. Now I heard it clearly for what it was: justification. Mom, Mila whispered again. "Why did Grandma clap?" "Because Grandma was wrong," I murmured, kissing her hair. "And she's been wrong for a long time." A folded napkin touched my elbow. Aunt Meredith slipped it into my hand without looking at me and walked off. I opened it. "Protect your daughter. This isn't the first time." My heart pounded. On the back, a second message in frantic scrawl. "Ask about the night Evan fell, not the morning after." I looked up quickly, trying to find Meredith, but she had disappeared into the kitchen. Several relatives stood gathered there, whispering aggressively until one of them noticed my gaze and immediately broke away. The truth wasn't hiding tonight, it was leaking. I rose slowly, motioning for Mila to stay behind me. Lily watched, her eyes following my every movement like a cat stalking prey. "Still playing the victim?" she asked sweetly. "I'm not the one who hit a child," I replied. Her smile snapped. She disrespected me. She dropped an ornament. Same thing she said with a shrug. I stepped closer, lowering my voice. "Why did you whisper to her about Evan?" Her face twitched. "You misunderstood. Did I?" "You always think the worst of me," she hissed, "because you keep proving me right." A murmur rippled behind us. Lily's nails dug into her palms. "Don't push me, Caroline." "You pushed Evan," I said before I could stop myself. "At the top of the stairs." Her entire expression fractured. "Stop talking. You whispered something to Mila before you struck her. Just like you whispered to Evan that night." I said, "Stop talking." My mother rushed over again, inserting herself between us. "Caroline, enough. Lily is grieving." "Still?" I asked. Or again. My mother's jaw locked. "You're provoking her." "No. I'm exposing her." My father stepped in weakly, hands raised. "Girls, please, this isn't helping anyone." But Lily shoved him away without blinking, her face slick with sweat. "Stay out of it. You always stay out of everything." He stumbled back into the buffet table, nearly knocking over a tray of gingerbread men. Gasps filled the room. The last time I had seen Lily shove someone that hard, Evan had fallen. A guest near the window muttered under their breath, "It's happening again." I turned sharply toward the voice, but the man quickly busied himself with straightening a wreath, avoiding my eyes. The tension in the room tightened like a wire. Then Lily snapped. She hurled a wine glass into the sink. It shattered explosively, sharp shards flying across the counter. People backed away. She began pacing, muttering, "Everyone leaves. Everyone lies. Everyone betrays me." Donna rushed to steady her, but Lily jerked free like a feral animal. "Don't touch me." My mother froze. For the first time, I saw something like fear in her eyes. "Lily," I said softly. "Breathe." She spun toward me. "Don't tell me what to do. You think you're so perfect. You think you're so innocent." "I never said that. You think you know everything," she spat. "But you don't know what it's like. What people put me through." "What people?" I asked. Again. She swallowed hard, her eyes darting toward the upstairs hallway. Then she shook her head aggressively. "Forget it." But her fear wasn't of Rowan. It was of someone else. Someone who had been in this house before. The same someone who whispered threats into Evan's ear, the someone Rowan suspected existed the night Evan died. The air thickened. I took Mila's hand gently and pulled her behind me again. I felt her breath warm against my back. Across the room, someone near the tree whispered, "She's unraveling," just like that night. My mother's head whipped toward the voice, but she couldn't identify who said it. Too many people were now speaking. Too many eyes were darting with the weight of secrets too long crushed under silence. Suddenly my phone buzzed. 5 minutes. I slipped it back into my pocket. The color drained from Lily's face as she watched me. "You called him. He's coming for me." "You hurt my daughter," I replied. "He's coming for the truth." "You think truth matters," she spat. "You think truth is enough." Her voice cracked on the last word. It didn't sound like defiance. It sounded like terror. My mother grabbed my arm. "Caroline, for God's sake, stop this." "No," I said simply. "She's your sister. She's a danger." The words echoed sharply, sticking in the air like a struck bell. My father's voice trembled. "Please, let's calm down. Please." But nobody calmed down. Someone shouted from the hallway. "Lights outside." We all froze. A red and blue glow pulsed across the living room windows. Guests stepped back. Some held their breath. Some turned pale. Lily went rigid. "He's here," she whispered, eyes widening. I scooped Mila into my arms, her small hands wrapping around my shoulders. She buried her face in my neck. I took a long, steady breath. For 2 years, I had carried fear like a shadow. But not tonight. I turned toward the door, heart steady now. "Let's finish this," I whispered. The front door burst open before anyone could move, and Detective Rowan stepped inside like the breath of cold winter itself, rain still clinging to his coat. Dark hair, damp eyes sharp enough to slice through every lie in the room. The party froze around him. Conversations died mid-syllable. A child somewhere in the back whimpered. My mother's hand shot to her chest. But Rowan didn't look at her. Or my father. Or even me. His eyes locked directly onto Lily. She shrank back as if he'd struck her. I felt Mila bury her face deeper into my shoulder. "Detective," my father said with a brittle smile. "What a surprise." "I'm not here for Christmas cookies," Rowan replied without a shred of humor. His gaze swept across the room. I received a report of a child being assaulted. A wave of whispers rippled through the guests. My mother stiffened. "That's an exaggeration, Detective. Caroline is—" "Are you making an official statement?" Rowan interrupted calmly, denying that Lily Palmer struck a minor in this home tonight. My mother opened her mouth, then closed it again. Her face flushed with panic. Rowan clicked a pen and held up a small recorder. "Go on." My mother glared at him with venom, but she said nothing. "Thought so," Rowan said. He turned to me. "Caroline, is Mila safe?" "Yes," I whispered, though my arms tightened around her instinctively. "May I see her cheek?" I knelt, angling Mila so he could examine the bright red imprint. He didn't touch her. He didn't have to. His jaw clenched. Then his voice dropped. Was it the same hand she used on Evan? The room exhaled in horror. Someone gasped. My mother nearly collapsed. Lily's face went ghostly white. You can't bring him up. You can't. Rowan raised his head slowly. Why not? My heart hammered. Rowan hadn't planned subtlety. He was here to break open the truth. He stood and faced the guests. 2 years ago, Evan Palmer's death was ruled an accident. His voice echoed calm but cutting. But some accidents look a lot like murder. Gasps. A plate clattered onto the floor. My father staggered backward. My mother stepped in front of Rowan, shaking with fury. You stop this right now. You are harassing my daughter. Rowan didn't even blink. Your daughter assaulted a 7-year-old. And this isn't the first time she's lost control. That's a lie, Lily screamed. Rowan turned to her, his voice quiet but merciless. Is it? Lily flinched backward. He looked at my parents. Let's clarify something. I'm not here on a murder charge. Not yet. I'm here because your daughter repeated a pattern of violent behavior in front of 30 witnesses. A murmur spread like wildfire. Pattern. What pattern? Someone whispered. Just like Evan. Another hissed. Everyone calm down, my mother shouted desperately, but her voice cracked under the weight of the truth. Rowan slowly approached her. 2 years ago, Donna, you denied my request to interview Lily about the night Evan died. Why? My mother's lips trembled. I was protecting her. From what Rowan asked. A conversation. She was fragile, my mother snapped. Rowan leaned in slightly. Funny. Her story changed 3 times. Nothing fragile about that. More whispers. Guests exchanged horrified looks. Rowan didn't let up. So, let me ask again. Why wasn't Lily interviewed? Why did you clean the staircase before the paramedics arrived? Why did you tell family members not to speak to me? My mother's expression twisted. I won't answer that. Rowan nodded as if he expected it. Then he turned back to me. Caroline, tell me exactly what happened tonight. I swallowed and recounted the moment, the ornament rolling Lily's sudden fury, the 3 slaps, the shove. While I spoke, several guests nodded quiet confirmations, tiny flickers of truth finding courage. When I finished, Rowan looked at the crowd. Anyone here witness the slaps? Hands rose. 1, then 3, then nearly a dozen. The room tilted under the weight of it. My mother let out a strangled cry. You traitors! All of you! A child was hit. Someone snapped back. We're not lying for you anymore. Rowan approached Lily next. She backed away until she hit the kitchen counter. You're twisting things, she shouted. I didn't mean she provoked me. How? Rowan asked. By existing. Lily's chest heaved. She's just like Evan. Always pushing me, always making me. She stopped herself too late. The room froze. Always making you what Rowan asked gently. Lily squeezed her eyes shut. Make me feel crazy. Rowan tilted his head. Did Evan say you were crazy? No, she spat. But he thought it. So you pushed him? I didn't. She screamed, then immediately clapped her hand over her mouth. Rowan stepped back, letting the silence trap her. He turned toward my father next. Harvey, I know you were home the night Evan died. I know you heard the fight. I know you saw something. My father shook violently. I saw nothing. Rowan stepped closer. Harvey, men like Evan don't just fall backwards down a staircase with defensive scratches on their neck. My father squeezed his eyes shut, tears leaking down his cheeks. Rowan spoke softly. Tell me what you're afraid of. My father whispered, Her. The room collectively inhaled. Who? Rowan asked. But my father just pointed shakily at my mother. Donna recoiled as if slapped. Harvey, how dare you? Rowan stepped between them. It's okay, Harvey. You can speak now. No, he cannot, my mother shrieked. Rowan shot her a warning look. If you interrupt again, I will remove you from this room. She froze. Harvey wiped his face with trembling hands. I didn't mean to help her cover it, he said, voice cracking. I did what she asked, like I always do. It was the closest thing to a confession he'd ever made. Guests exchanged horrified whispers. Someone muttered, He saw it. He knows. Rowan turned to Lily again. Did Evan grab you before he fell? Lily shook her head violently, lips trembling. He was going to leave me, she murmured. He said he was done. He said he wanted space. He said I was too much. Her breathing grew rapid, shallow. Rowan's voice softened. And what did you do? I didn't mean to. Her voice cracked into a sob. He grabbed my wrist. He said he would go. Her hand curled reflexively, mimicking a push. The room erupted in whispers and sharp gasps. My mother lunged toward her. Stop talking! But Rowan stepped between them. Keep going, Lily. You've held this in for 2 years. Lily shook her head violently, covering her ears. I can't. He'll come for me, who Rowan demanded. She looked at him with wild, terrified eyes. You don't understand. He told me if I talked I'd end up like Evan. Rowan's face darkened. Who? But Lily crumpled to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. Rowan stood slowly. This doesn't end here. He turned to me, speaking quietly. The goal tonight isn't to arrest her yet. It's to make someone talk. These cracks. They're opening. I nodded, breath unsteady. Rowan glanced around the room, then leaned closer. Stay calm. The truth always confesses itself when a family built on lies collapses. As he stepped away, a shrill crash exploded from the kitchen, followed by Donna's scream and the sound of something breaking. Rowan looked at me. It's starting, he said. And the house seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the rest of the truth to rip free. Rowan stood in the center of the living room, like an anchor, steady and immovable, while the rest of the house trembled on its foundation. My mother tried to gather the guests, whispering frantic instructions, things like, go home and forget all this. But no one moved. No one even dared blink. Rowan's voice had frozen the entire party in place. No one leaves, he said calmly, until I have answers about Evan's fall. His tone wasn't loud, but it was sharp enough to slice through the layers of denial that had held this family together for decades. I felt Mila tighten her arms around my neck. I whispered into her hair. I've got you, though. My own pulse thudded against my ribs. Donna stepped forward, clinging to rage the way drowning people cling to driftwood. Detective, you can't detain an entire household without cause. I have cause. Rowan replied, meeting her gaze without flinching. First, a child was assaulted tonight in front of multiple witnesses. And second, he paused, scanning the room. Second, I have new information about Evan Palmer's death. A sharp inhale rippled through the guests like one shared breath among 30 people. Donna's voice cracked as she tried to hold composure. You are harassing my family. Your family is obstructing an ongoing investigation, Rowan said. 2 years ago, I accepted your refusal to cooperate. That won't happen again. Donna's mouth opened, but nothing came out. Rowan took a step forward and addressed the entire room. Let's revisit the story everyone was told. Evan fell down the stairs late at night. Lily claimed she was asleep. Donna said she heard nothing. Harvey insisted Evan must have slipped. He paused. Does anyone here still believe that... A silence settled so heavy it felt physical. No one answered. No one even shifted their weight. Then an elderly aunt voice, trembling, whispered, I never believed it. Donna whipped around. Meredith, shut your mouth. But Meredith didn't. She lowered her trembling hands. I heard shouting, Donna. That night, shouting and something breaking. Guests gasped. Lily's breathing turned ragged. Rowan nodded. Thank you. That matches the testimony from 2 neighbors. My father sagged against the wall as if someone had punched the air out of him. Rowan opened a folder he'd kept tucked under his arm. Let's discuss the inconsistencies. Lily said she never touched Evan that day, but neighbors reported the sound of a physical struggle. That's hearsay, my mother snapped. No, Rowan replied. Hearsay is one witness. I have multiple. He turned toward Lily. 2 neighbors heard you yelling minutes before Evan fell. One said it sounded like you screamed, "You can't leave me!" Lily shook her head violently. I didn't. Rowan calmly unfolded another paper. You also said the staircase was wet, but the crime scene photos show no moisture, not even a footprint. My father's breath hitched. And Rowan continued. You claimed Evan grabbed you first, but the scratches on his neck were defensive, not offensive. My mother stepped between Rowan and Lily like a shield. This is ridiculous. My daughter loved her husband. She could never. Rowan's voice dropped controlled and lethal. Then explain why you cleaned the staircase before officers arrived. Donna blinked rapidly. I panicked. Panicked. Rowan repeated, his eyebrow rising. Bleach doesn't come from panic. Neither does scrubbing blood from a banister. Gasps erupted. Lily's legs buckled. She gripped the counternails, digging into the wood. I found myself stepping slightly forward, unable to stop watching her unravel. Rowan shifted his focus to Harvey. Mr. Palmer, you were home that night. Did you hear the argument? Harvey shook his head. No. I can't, Donna barked. Harvey, say nothing. But Rowan gently cut her off. Harvey, you're safe to speak now. My father's voice broke as he whispered, I heard everything. A collective gasp swept the room. Donna's face contorted. Harvey! But Rowan continued softly. What did you hear? Harvey squeezed his eyes shut. I heard Evan begging her to stop. And I heard his voice cracked. I heard someone else. A man. I don't know who. A dizzying hush fell. Lily let out a strangled sob and collapsed onto a bar stool. Stop! Please stop! Rowan approached her slowly. Lily, look at me. She clutched her head, fingers tangled in her hair. No. You told the police Evan never touched you, Rowan said gently. But that wasn't true, was it? He tried to defend himself. She began rocking. He grabbed me. He wanted to leave me. He said he was done. And you couldn't handle that, Rowan said softly. You reacted. No, she screamed. He pushed me first, he said. He said I was insane. Rowan's expression didn't change. Did you push him back? Her breath hitched. I didn't mean to. The room exploded into a mix of horrified whispers and sharp cries. My mother rushed toward Lily, but Rowan stepped between them. Lily, he said, did you push? Evan? Lily shook her head violently, but her voice betrayed her. He wouldn't stop talking. He kept saying he was leaving. He wouldn't stop. Tell me what you did, Rowan pressed, not unkindly. She broke. I pushed him, but not hard. Not to kill him. I just wanted him to shut up. A woman near the fireplace sobbed. My father dropped to his knees, weeping. My mother stood frozen. Her face twisted in a silent scream. Rowan didn't gloat. He didn't even break eye contact. He simply said, Thank you for telling the truth. But he wasn't finished. He turned to the rest of the room. There's more. I have new evidence from someone who recently broke their silence. Someone who was too afraid to speak before. An electric shiver ran through the house. Rowan leaned closer to me, his voice barely above a whisper. The cracks are widening. Someone else will talk next. As if on cue, a loud crash erupted from the kitchen, a dish shattering. Donna screamed. Then Lily screamed. Then Harvey begged someone to stop yelling. And Rowan took one slow breath. "It's happening," he murmured. And something inside that house finally broke open, revealing the truth that had been rotting underneath it all. The argument in the kitchen had exploded into something feral. Donna's shrill voice, Lily's sobbing, Harvey's trembling apologies, it all blurred into a feverish chorus echoing through the house. Rowan stepped toward the noise, but before he reached the doorway, Lily stumbled back into the living room, mascara streaking down her cheeks, hair, wild breath ragged. "You made me do it!" she screamed at Donna, and then something I never thought I'd see. Donna slapped her. The crack rang out like a firecracker. Guests flinched. A woman covered her mouth. My father staggered backward in shock. Lily pressed a trembling hand to her cheek, eyes wide as though she hadn't known her mother was capable of hitting her. It was the kind of slap meant not for discipline, but to silence. Donna hissed through clenched teeth. "You say one more word, and I'll—" Rowan stepped between them. "Enough." His voice wasn't loud. It didn't have to be. The entire room fell silent. Lily collapsed onto the couch, clutching a pillow like a lifeline. Her chest heaved with frantic breaths. She looked like a child, not a 32-year-old woman. Rowan slowly turned toward me. "Caroline," he said quietly, "there's history here. I need you to tell me what Evan confided in you before he died." My heart squeezed. For 2 years I'd tried to bury these memories to protect myself from them. But tonight, with the truth breaking through the walls like floodwater, there was no point burying anything. I nodded. He told me things I didn't want to believe at the time. Rowan gestured gently. "Start wherever you can." My gaze drifted to Lily, shaking broken yet still dangerous. Then to the tree lights reflecting off the window. Then finally to Mila, who was curled quietly near my leg, listening with wide, frightened eyes. "Evan used to come to my house when things got bad." I began. He didn't want to worry his friends. He didn't want to embarrass Lily. But he was scared of her. Gasps murmured through the guests. Lily buried her face in her hands. "Stop." He told me Lily controlled everything. I continued. Who he talked to, what he wore, when he could leave. He said she would scream if he disagreed with her, throw things when she felt disrespected, push him if he tried to walk away. Someone whispered, "God." He said he loved her, I said quietly. He wanted to fix things. But Lily didn't want a husband. She wanted a mirror, someone who only reflected her, never contradicted her. My mother bristled. "Caroline, stop making my daughter sound like a monster." Rowan turned to her. "Your daughter hit a child tonight." Donna went silent. I continued. 6 months before he died, Evan told me that Lily shoved him during an argument. He didn't fall, but it scared him. He said she looked not angry, not frustrated, but blank, like she wasn't even in her body anymore. Harvey let out a choked sob from the corner. He said he'd been thinking about leaving, I said. Just for a few days, just to clear his head. But Lily told him she'd ruin him if he did. At this, Lily lifted her head sharply. I didn't mean it. People say things in fights. Rowan's voice was steady. What did he say back? He said, I whispered that sometimes he felt safer sleeping in his car. A few guests cried quietly. Rowan's jaw clenched. He tried to leave her, and she escalated. Escalated, Donna barked. She was dealing with a difficult marriage. No, Rowan snapped. She was abusing him. The word hung in the air like smoke. Thick, heavy, unavoidable. Lily covered her ears. Stop it. Stop talking. But her meltdown didn't stop the truth. If anything, it revealed more. Rowan continued. Abusers escalate when they lose control. Evan pulled away. So Lily pulled him back. Hard. Lily rocked back and forth. He was supposed to love me. He wasn't supposed to leave. And when he said he was done, Rowan said gently, "You panicked." "I didn't mean to hurt him," she screamed. "You didn't mean to push him?" Rowan asked softly. Lily's breath hitched. She didn't answer. She didn't have to. Someone in the back whispered, "She did it. She really did it." Donna spun around. "Shut up, all of you. You don't know anything." But the room wasn't hers anymore. It belonged to the truth. My father stepped forward, trembling violently. I saw them fighting earlier that day, he confessed. I didn't think it was serious. Evan. He looked tired. Lily was screaming. "Donna told me to go to the garage, to stay out of it." Donna gasped. "Harvey! How dare you!" Rowan cut her off. "And the bruises on Lily's arms after the funeral?" My father shook. "She said Evan grabbed her. But I think she bruised herself hitting him." Then his voice broke. "I should have stopped it. I should have saved him." Donna screamed, "Stop talking, Harvey." But he didn't. "Donna told us all to stay quiet," he said. "She said if anyone talked, the family would fall apart." Donna lunged toward him, but Rowan stepped between them again. "Sit down, Donna." For the first time in my life, my mother obeyed. Rowan turned back to Lily. "Lily, tell me what Evan said before he died." "I don't remember," she whispered. "Yes," Rowan said gently. "You do." Her lip trembled. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Not delicate tears, but violent, choking ones. "He said I was hurting him." "And what did you do?" Lily stared at the floor. "I told him he couldn't leave me." "What did he do?" "He tried to walk away. And then Lily's whole body shook. I tried to stop him. How Lily covered her face with both hands. I pushed him. The room erupted. People gasped. A woman fainted. My father sobbed openly. Donna screamed, "She didn't mean it." Rowan shook his head. "But you knew." Donna's face crumpled. I felt my knees weaken. Mila clutched my hand. I pressed her close. "Evan told me he planned to leave after Christmas," I whispered. Rowan nodded. "And Lily figured it out." "I didn't want to kill him," Lily sobbed. "I just wanted him to stay. And when he fell," Rowan said quietly, "you panicked. I wanted to help him," she cried. "I ran down the stairs. I tried. I really tried." Rowan frowned. "But Donna told you what to say." "Didn't she?" Lily nodded, shaking violently. "She said I had to stick to the story, or we'd both go to prison." The room fell into a stunned silence. Donna's voice cracked. "I was protecting you." "No, Mom," Lily whispered. "You were protecting yourself." Then something clicked in Lily's expression, fear, realization, and horror mixed together. Her eyes widened. "He'll come for me. I told too much. He'll come for me." Rowan stiffened. "Who?" Lily shook her head, tears spilling. "He was there that night. He saw. He helped me move Evan. He said I owed him. And he said if I talked, he'd—" She stopped. Her whole body trembled. Rowan knelt beside her, eyes locked with hers. "Who is he?" But Lily didn't answer. Instead, she looked toward the front door. Moments later, a deep rumble echoed outside, the unmistakable growl of an engine idling too close. Rowan stood. "It's him," Lily whispered. The room froze, and when Rowan moved toward the front window, I knew the night was nowhere near over. The engine outside snarled like a warning, low and predatory, vibrating through the frosted windows. Every guest in the house froze. Even the Christmas lights seemed to dim, as if the house itself were holding its breath. Lily clutched the edge of the couch, her face drained entirely of color. "He's here," she whispered, voice cracking. "He found me." Rowan raised a hand to quiet the room. "Everyone stay where you are," he ordered, stepping toward the front window with measured calm. My mother grabbed Lily's arm nails, digging into her skin. "What did you say to him? What did you do?" Lily recoiled, shaking her off. "You told me he'd never come back. You lied." Donna's expression shattered. "I told you to keep quiet. I told you to let me handle it." "Handle what?" someone near the staircase shouted. "What is going on in this family?" Rowan didn't answer. He peered through the curtain, his silhouette sharp against the dim glow of headlights cutting across the snow. The guests erupted into a hungry frenzy of whispers. "Is it him?" Another man. "Was he part of it? Did he help her?" I held Mila tighter, her tiny fingers gripping my coat like claws. Her cheek was still red from Lily's slap. The thought of this unknown man anywhere near her made my stomach twist. Rowan stepped away from the window and turned to me. "Stay with your daughter. Don't move." Then he looked at Lily. "If you know who that is now is the time to tell me." Lily's breath hitched. "I can't. If I say his name, he'll—" Donna slapped her again. "Don't talk!" she screamed. "Not one more word." The room erupted, guests gasping, backing away from Donna as if she were a live wire. Rowan stepped between them. "Donna, if you touch her again, I'll restrain you." "You don't understand," Donna shrieked. "We are protecting her from him who Rowan demanded." Donna's mouth clamped shut. She stared at Rowan like a trapped animal, eyes darting to the door. And then my phone buzzed in my hand. A new text. Unknown number. "Stop digging. You won't like what you find." My breath caught. "Caroline? Stay calm." Rowan mouthed silently when he saw my expression falter. But he wasn't calm. I could see it in his shoulders, tense, coiled. He motioned for me to hand him the phone. I passed it to him without hesitation. His eyes hardened. "This number contacted you before I shook my head. Only tonight." "Then you're being watched," he said. "Someone is inside or close enough to see what's happening." A shudder passed through the room. Lily let out a broken sob. "I told him to stay away. I told him I didn't want to do this anymore." Donna grabbed Lily's wrist with a trembling hand. "You're lying. Tell me you're lying." Lily pulled away. "He said if Evan talked, if he tried to leave, we'd both regret it." Rowan's head snapped up. What did this man have to do with Evan? But Lily only cried harder. At that moment, a soft, terrified voice spoke from the corner. "He came to the house 3 days before Evan died." Everyone turned. It was Aunt Meredith, trembling but resolute. Donna's face went gray. "Meredith, you keep that mouth shut." But Meredith straightened her spine. "No. No more silence. He came to the house. I saw him." Lily met him at the door. They argued on the porch. "What did you hear?" Rowan asked. Meredith swallowed. "He said, 'If he leaves you, you lose everything.'" And she said, "Then make sure he doesn't." Lily collapsed on the carpet with a sob so raw it cut straight through the air. My mother lunged toward Meredith, but 2 guests grabbed her arms. Enough, one of them hissed. Enough lies. Enough threats. For the first time in my life, my mother looked small. Rowan's voice softened slightly as he crouched near Lily. "This man manipulated you." Lily nodded weakly. "He told me Evan was making a fool of me, that I needed to teach him a lesson. He said men who threaten to leave always come crawling back unless you show them who's in control." I felt bile climb my throat. The echoes of this man's poison were everywhere, woven into Lily's rage, into Donna's monstrous protection, into Evan's final hours. "What else did he tell you?" Rowan pressed. Lily looked up, eyes glassy. "He said he'd help me keep Evan loyal. He said a little push wouldn't kill him, that it would just scare him." A horrified cry erupted from someone near the tree. "Oh my God," Meredith whispered, shaking her head. "There was someone else. All this time. Someone else was there." Rowan stood. "Lily, I need his name." "I can't," she whispered. "You can." Rowan insisted. "He said he'd kill me if I talked." Lily screamed. Her voice cracked into a feral sob. The lights flickered. The engine outside revved again, louder this time, making several guests jump. Then another vibration buzzed through my phone. Rowan still held it. A second message appeared. "You're making a mistake." Rowan pocketed the phone and stood tall. "Everyone move away from the windows." People backed up instantly. Some clutched their coats. Others held their children. Fear wrapped tightly around the room like barbed wire. Donna whispered frantically, "He came here because she talked. He warned us this would happen." "Who?" Rowan snapped. "Say his name." But Donna stared at the floor. Lily curled into herself, shaking violently. "He said no one would believe me. He said if Evan talked, we'd all go down together." Her voice dropped to a terrified whisper. "He was there the night Evan fell." The room erupted into panicked murmurs. Rowan's face tightened. "Who?" "Was." There Lily looked up, tears streaking her cheeks. "My ex. The one before Evan." Donna screamed. "Why did you tell them?" Rowan didn't give Donna a chance to speak again. "His name," he demanded. "Now." Lily swallowed hard. "Marcus." My heart dropped. She whispered his name like it was cursed. "He said he'd protect me," she sobbed. "He said he'd make sure Evan never left me. He said he'd take care of everything." The engine outside suddenly stopped. Silence swallowed the room. Rowan grabbed his radio. "Unit 3, move in. Now!" My mother screamed. Lily collapsed. Harvey sobbed. Guests scattered. Mila clung to me like her life depended on it. And just as Rowan moved toward the front door, a shadow crossed the stained glass window. A slow, deliberate knock echoed through the house. Every breath hitched. Every muscle tensed. Lily whispered, voice barely audible, "He's here." And with that, Chapter 8 ended not with the truth revealed, but with something far more dangerous. The truth arriving on the front doorstep. The knock at the door was slow, deliberate, almost mocking. A sound that didn't belong to a family Christmas party, but to something darker. Something stalking the edges of a nightmare. Rowan raised a hand, motioning for absolute silence. 30 people held their breath at once. Even the engine outside had gone quiet, as if whatever waited in the shadows was listening too. Rowan stepped toward the door, body tense but controlled. Lily curled into the couch cushions, shaking like a child hiding from a monster. Donna hovered uselessly near her, pale and trembling. Harvey's hands were clasped over his mouth as if trying to stop words from escaping. But before Rowan even reached the doorknob, Donna snapped. "This is your fault," she hissed at me. "You're tearing this family apart." Her voice cracked not with anger but with panic. Not fury, fear. I didn't move. Lily slapped my daughter. "I reported it." "That's all I did." Donna jabbed a finger toward me. "You think this is about a slap? You have no idea what you've unleashed." Rowan shot her a glare. Donna stepped back. But she didn't. Her hysteria ballooned. "He's coming because you made her talk," she screamed at me. "You pushed, and now he'll come after all of us," someone whispered from the back of the room. "Who is he?" Donna's eyes darted around like a trapped animal. "Nobody. Nobody you need to know." Lily suddenly let out a broken laugh, raw, unhinged. "Nobody, Mom. He's not nobody. Stop!" Donna shrieked. But the dam had cracked, and now it burst. Lily wiped her tears with trembling fingers, staring at me with hollow eyes. "You think you're the only one who's scared, Caroline? You think calling Rowan protects you? It just paints a target on your back." Her words slithered through the room like smoke. Rowan turned toward her sharply. "Lily, be very clear. Are you saying someone intends to harm Caroline? Lily looked at him, then at the door, then at me. Finally, she whispered, "Yes." A collective gasp. My stomach twisted, but I kept my arm wrapped firmly around Mila. "Who?" Rowan demanded. But instead of answering, Lily lunged toward me, grabbing my arm with surprising strength. "You don't understand," she cried. "He said if anyone found out, if anyone reopened the case." "Get your hands off her," Rowan barked. Lily dropped my arm immediately, shaking violently. Donna grabbed her daughter's face in both hands. "Lily, listen to me. We deny everything. We stick to the story. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?" Lily flinched. "He'll kill us." Donna stiffened. Several guests gasped. One whispered, "What is she saying? He's bluffing." Donna insisted, but her voice trembled. "He won't come here. Not tonight. Not with witnesses." The knock sounded again. Harder. Rowan raised a finger to his lips. No more talking. But Donna wasn't done. She spun toward the guests, the entire room, as if rallying an army. "Don't believe anything she's saying," she screamed. "Caroline has always hated Lily. She's jealous." "Oh, enough," muttered someone near the tree. "Yeah, Donna," another said loudly. "We all saw Lily slap the child, and we heard her scream about the man outside," someone else added. "This isn't Caroline's fault. You're letting her manipulate you." Donna barked, voice cracking. She always wanted to tear this family apart. But the room had turned. Pale faces now watched Donna with wary disgust. Her power, decades of intimidation, was collapsing. She hadn't realized it yet. Rowan cut through her hysteria. "Donna Palmer, if you continue to interfere with this investigation, I will remove you from the premises." She froze. And for the first time in my life, Donna looked small. Lily, however, was beyond small. She was unraveling, spiraling. She began pacing, muttering nonsense under her breath. I watched her carefully. "She's projecting," Rowan murmured, stepping to my side. This is what happens when an abuser loses control. Her brain is scrambling to justify the violence. "And the man outside," I whispered. Rowan's jaw tightened. "We'll find out." A faint buzz vibrated in his pocket. "My phone." He pulled it out, glanced at the screen, and cursed under his breath. Another text. "If you keep pushing, she won't be the only one to fall." He showed me the message without speaking. My heart skipped painfully. A murmur rippled through the crowd, people sensing the shift, sensing the danger. "This is bad," Rowan murmured. "What does he want?" I asked. "He wants silence," Rowan said. "He wants control. Same motive pattern Evan described before he died." I felt myself go cold. "He's watching," Rowan continued. "And he's close." The guests huddled together. A few clutched hands. One older man whispered, "This is like something out of a horror movie." Rowan ignored the comment and turned his attention back to Lily. "Lily," he said gently, "you said he'd kill you if you talked." She nodded rapidly, tears streaking her face. "He said I owed him. He said if Evan went to the police, he'd take care of it. He said I needed to be loyal." What was his connection to Evan? Rowan pressed. "He hated Evan," she sobbed. "He said Evan made me weak. He said Evan was stealing me away from him." Horror washed through the room. "You were seeing him?" Rowan asked. Lily swallowed. "Before Evan. But he never left. He followed me. He watched me. He didn't want me to be happy without him." Donna grabbed Lily's arm. "We don't tell the police that." Rowan leaned in, voice icy. "She just did." Then before he could ask more, my father suddenly spoke. He was at the house that night. The room fell dead silent. Rowan turned slowly toward him. "You saw him." Harvey nodded, tears streaming. He came to the door. He asked for Lily. They argued. Evan told him to leave. They all went upstairs yelling. I didn't follow. Donna told me to stay out of it. But I heard..." I heard a thud. Donna screamed, "Stop talking!" But Harvey didn't stop. "He said Evan was weak," my father whispered. "He said men like Evan needed to be taught lessons." And Lily Rowan asked softly. She begged him for help. Harvey choked. She said Evan was leaving her. She said she couldn't lose anything else. Rowan stepped back, stunned. The truth was spilling faster than he could catch it. Lily sobbed louder. "I didn't mean to hurt Evan, I just wanted him to stay." Donna suddenly lunged for me, rage exploding across her face. "This is your fault if you had kept your mouth shut." Rowan caught her arm mid-air. "Donna Palmer, sit down." "Now." She yanked, but he held firm. "Stop!" Lily screamed suddenly. "Stop fighting. Please." "He's coming." Her eyes darted toward the door. The house sucked in one collective breath. Then a deafening slam hit the front door from the outside. People screamed. Mila clung to me. Rowan reached for his sidearm but didn't draw yet. "Everyone stay back," he commanded. A dark, distorted voice seeped through the door like smoke. "Lily, open up." She collapsed into sobs. "He found me," she whispered. I pulled Mila against my chest, shielding her with my body. Rowan squared his shoulders. "This ends tonight," he whispered. But none of us, not even Rowan, knew what waited on the other side of that door. And that made the silence that followed even more terrifying. Rowan's hand hovered just inches from the doorknob, his entire body coiled with controlled force. The house behind him had become a single heartbeat, uneven, frantic, terrified. The figure outside slammed the door again harder this time. Plaster dust rained from the frame. A few guests screamed. Others ducked behind furniture. Lily dropped to her knees and clasped her hands over her ears. "Don't let him in," she sobbed. "Please, please don't let him in." Rowan shot her a sharp look. "Lily, does he have a weapon?" She shook her head violently. "He is the weapon." That was all Rowan needed. He unlocked the door in one swift motion and flung it open, but instead of stepping inside, the man outside staggered backward, startled by the sudden confrontation. Even soaked in rain and half-shadow, he radiated danger. Broad shoulders, hands balled into fists, jaw clenched beneath a patchy beard. His eyes were wild, bloodshot, furious, unhinged. He looked like someone who had already crossed too many lines to pretend he could come back. Rowan stepped outside, blocking the doorway with his body. "Police. Hands where I can see them." The man sneered. "You got no right to keep me from her." "Step away from the house," Rowan ordered. "She belongs to me." The man's gaze slid past Rowan and locked on Lily inside. "Lily, come out!" His voice slid across the room like poison. Lily let out a strangled scream. "Don't make me—" "Sir," Rowan said steadily. "You're done. You're coming with me." The man barked a laugh that didn't sound human. "You think I'm scared of you? You think I'm scared of cops? They can't prove anything." "You were here the night Evan died," Rowan said. That wiped the smirk off his face. Just for a second. "I wasn't anywhere near this place," he snapped. Rowan didn't blink. "I have a witness who says otherwise." The man's nostrils flared. Lily wouldn't talk. Rowan's eyes sharpened. "So you admit you threatened her?" The man froze, realizing he'd revealed more than he meant to. His jaw ticked. His hand twitched toward his coat pocket. Rowan's voice cut like steel. "Hands up! Now!" The man snarled. "I'm not leaving." But blue lights filled the street behind him, 3 patrol cars gliding to a stop, tires crunching over snow. Backup poured out, officers spreading like a net behind Rowan. For the first time, the man faltered. Fear flickered in his eyes. "Don't," Rowan warned him. "Make this easy." The man spat at the ground. "She told you lies. She always does." He jerked his head toward Lily. "She begged me for help. She begged me to stay." Lily let out a broken wail. "That's not true. You wouldn't leave me alone." You wouldn't let me live, the man growled. You liar! Rowan stepped closer. Turn around. Hands behind your back. The man's gaze darted between Rowan the officers and the house. He looked like a cornered animal ready to lash out, but he finally slowly lifted his hands. Then, in a sudden burst of rage, he lunged. Not at Rowan. At me. He shoved past Rowan with a snarl, barreling straight toward the door. I barely had time to react before Rowan tackled him from behind, slamming him onto the porch with a force that shook the railings. The two men wrestled, boots scraping against wet wood. Guests screamed inside. I shielded Mila with my arms, pressing her head against my shoulder. Stay down! Rowan barked. Wrestling the man's arm behind his back, the man thrashed violently. Let me in! She owes me. She owes me everything. 3 officers rushed up the steps to help. It took all 4 of them to pin him to the ground. He kicked, spat, cursed, fought, until finally an officer's knee bracketed his neck and metal cuffs clicked around his wrists. You're done, Marcus, Rowan growled, breath sharp. It's over, Marcus thrashed again. She told you lies. She wanted him gone. She asked me to. Rowan slammed his knee into Marcus's spine. Shut up! But Marcus fought to speak. She did push him. She begged me to help her. She said, make sure he never leaves me. Rowan's expression went still, frighteningly still. He stood up slowly, breathing hard. Then he faced Lily. Is that true? Lily's eyes were wild. No, I didn't. He's lying. He's always lying. But nobody in the room believed her. Not anymore. Marcus kept ranting as officers dragged him toward the patrol cars. We did it together. We both grabbed him. She told me to push. She said Evan deserved to fall, that he needed to learn. Get him out of here, Rowan barked. They shoved Marcus into the back of a squad car, still shouting, still spitting venom. Inside the house, everything was deathly still. Lily stared at the door like she expected Marcus to burst through again. Donna looked like the world had been yanked out from under her feet. Harvey was sobbing into his hands, body folded in on itself. Rowan shut the front door and locked it with a definitive click. He turned rain dripping from his coat. Let's finish, he said. He crossed the room and stood directly in front of Lily. You didn't act alone that night. You weren't upstairs by yourself. Lily shook her head wildly. I didn't mean to push him. He grabbed me first. He said horrible things. You weren't alone, Rowan repeated. No, Lily sobbed. I wasn't. Donna collapsed into a chair, her face turning ashen. Lily, don't. But Lily was past saving. She looked up at Rowan with hollow eyes. Marcus came in. I told him Evan was leaving. He got angry. He said Evan didn't deserve me. He shoved him first. Evan tried to defend himself. Then Her voice cracked. I pushed him too. I felt the breath punched from my lungs. Lily whispered, We didn't mean for him to fall. Rowan straightened. But you did nothing to save him. Lily collapsed, fully, face in her hands. I panicked. Mom cleaned everything. She said we had to protect the family. Rowan's jaw clenched. She covered for you. Donna lifted her chin defiantly. A mother protects her child. I'd do it again. Rowan stared at her with a coldness I had never seen before. You protected a murderer. She's not a murderer, Donna screamed. She didn't mean to. She was pushed, manipulated. But Lily whispered softly, brokenly, No, Mom. I wanted Evan to stay. I wanted control. I didn't let go. Donna fell silent. Harvey sobbed louder. Guests cried openly. Rowan turned toward me, toward the room, toward every witness present. His voice was steady, grave. We now have a confession, and a co-conspirator, and evidence of obstruction of justice. He nodded toward the front door where Marcus's shouting had faded into the night. And tonight, he added, we found the missing witness. My knees weakened. I sank onto the sofa beside Mila, pulling her close. Rowan approached and crouched in front of us. His voice softened. You're safe now, he said. And this case just reopened in full. He straightened, turning back to the shattered family in the living room. It's time, he said quietly. Time for justice. And no amount of screaming, crying, pleading, or praying could stop the inevitable storm now rolling toward the Palmers. Justice had already stepped through their front door, and it wasn't leaving without the truth. The engine outside cut abruptly, leaving a ringing silence in its wake. For a moment, no one moved. The air felt thick enough to choke on heavy with the weight of what had just unfolded. Rowan stood with his back to the door, rain dripping from his sleeves, eyes sharpened to a razor's edge. Behind him, the house was a battlefield. Donna trembling in a chair. Lily collapsed on the floor. Harvey sobbing into his palms. Guests frozen in clusters like survivors of a storm that hadn't fully passed. Then a shadow crossed the stained glass window. A heavy bootstep landed on the porch. Rowan turned his head slightly. Everyone stay back. The knock wasn't like Marcus's frantic pounding. It was softer, slower, but somehow worse. An intentional knock. Someone who wasn't afraid of being heard. Donna shot up from the chair as if yanked by strings. No, she whispered. No, not him. Not again. Rowan's eyes narrowed. Who else is involved? But Donna just shook her head. Lips pressed tightly shut. Eyes glassed with terror. He pointed at the couch. Sit. Down. She obeyed instantly. The knock came again. Rowan stepped forward and opened the door only a few inches enough to see not enough to let anyone through. But instead of a looming threat, a police sergeant stood there soaked from the storm. Detective, the sergeant said, Marcus is in custody. We've searched the perimeter. No other threats outside. Rowan exhaled just slightly, relief mixed with renewed determination. He shut the door fully this time and turned around. All right, he said, voice steady. Let's finish this. Lily looked up from the floor, her face streaked with mascara, her body trembling uncontrollably. You can't take me, she whispered. He said if I told anyone he'd come for me. Marcus isn't the only one. He has friends. Rowan crouched in front of her, leveling his gaze with hers. Lily, listen carefully. Marcus is in custody. He's not coming back. And if anyone else is involved, we're going to find them. But right now, you need to tell the truth. All of it. Donna lunged, but two guests grabbed her arms before she could reach Lily. Let her speak. One of them growled. Rowan's attention returned to Lily. What did Marcus do? Lily swallowed hard. He pushed Evan first. And then, her voice cracked. And then I pushed him too. My father let out a guttural cry, raw and broken, and collapsed back into a chair. His chest heaved with decades of guilt finally ripping free. Donna thrashed in the grip of the relatives holding her. No, she didn't mean it. She was pressured. Manipulated. She pushed him, Rowan said coldly, intentionally. Donna shook her head violently, tears streaming. She didn't understand what she was doing. It was a moment of weakness. Cleaning the stairs afterward wasn't weakness, Rowan said. It was obstruction. The guests murmured with shock as Donna went limp in their arms. Harvey rubbed his face with both hands, voice shaking as he spoke. I saw the bruises. On Evan. Days before he died. Lily said he grabbed her, but now I see it was the other way around. Rowan nodded once. Thank you for saying that. Then, to everyone's surprise, Harvey dropped to his knees. I should have stopped it, he sobbed. I heard them fighting that night. I heard the thud. Donna told me to stay in the garage. She said she'd fix everything. I didn't help. I didn't call anyone. I let him die. Donna shrieked. Harvey, stop, you weak old man. Stop confessing what you think you saw. You don't know anything. But Harvey didn't even look at her. Rowan did. Donna Palmer. He said you coerced witnesses. You tampered with evidence. You threatened your own family into silence. My mother stared back at him, lip curling in defiance. I protected my daughter. You protected a killer, Rowan replied. And you endangered a child tonight. I felt Mila's fingers tighten around mine. She kept her face buried against my side, trembling with every shout, every confession, every crack of truth. Rowan stepped into the center of the room like a judge about to hand down a verdict. Here's what's going to happen, he said, raising his voice so everyone could hear. Lily Palmer is hereby arrested for second-degree homicide in the death of Evan Palmer. Marcus Hale is in custody and will be charged as an accomplice. Donna Palmer is under arrest for obstruction of justice, witness intimidation, and destruction of evidence. Donna shrieked. Lily wailed. Harvey sagged against the table. Gasps erupted around the room. Officers entered through the front door, their presence chilling and authoritative. One of them approached Lily gently. Ma'am, stand up. Lily clutched the couch cushion with both hands. No. I didn't mean to kill him. I didn't. It's time, Lily Rowan said softly. She broke into sobs that echoed off the walls as the officers lifted her to her feet and cuffed her wrists. Donna lunged toward her daughter. You can't take her, she screamed. She's all I have. Rowan nodded to another officer. Take her too. Donna kicked and clawed like a feral animal as two officers restrained her. This is your fault, Caroline, she shrieked as they dragged her toward the door. If you had stayed quiet, but Rowan cut her off. No, Donna, you don't get to blame her anymore. The guests parted to let the officers pass. Some cried, some whispered prayers, some simply stared at me with grief and apology in their eyes. Rowan walked back toward me, wiping rain from his forehead. He crouched so he was eye level with Mila. You're safe now, he said gently. Mila nodded shakily and whispered, Is Aunt Lily going to hurt anyone else? No, he replied. Then he stood and looked at me. You did the right thing calling me. You saved your daughter. You saved this whole family from years more of silence. I swallowed hard. Will Evan finally get justice? Rowan nodded. Yes. Fully. My shoulders sagged with relief, exhausted, shaky, but alive. As the officers escorted Lily, Donna, and Marcus to the patrol cars outside, red and blue lights flashed across the snowy driveway, painting the house in a strange, mournful glow. Lily looked at me through the window of the squad car, her face pressed against the glass, eyes fever bright. This isn't over, she whispered. But for the first time in years, I didn't believe her. Because Rowan stepped between us, blocking her gaze entirely. And when he turned back toward the house, toward me, toward Mila, his voice was soft, steady, final. It's over, Caroline. Justice walked in tonight, and it's not leaving without every truth. Snow fell gently outside, muting the flashing police lights that had bathed the driveway only minutes earlier. When the last patrol car pulled away, the entire house sagged into a strange, exhausted stillness. The Christmas wreath leaned crooked on the door. A broken ornament glinted under the tree like a relic of a battle long finished. The guests, shaken and pale, whispered their goodbyes as they wrapped coats around trembling shoulders and stepped into the cold night. And just like that, the chaos was gone, leaving only quiet. I stood in the center of the room, holding Mila, feeling her small heartbeat slow against my chest. For the first time all day, she wasn't crying. She wasn't shaking. She simply pressed her cheek to my shoulder and breathed softly. "Mom," she murmured, "is it over?" I looked around the room that had held so much violence disguised as family, so many lies wrapped in holiday lights. The air still smelled faintly of pine sugar cookies. And fear. "Yes," I whispered into her hair. "It's over." Rowan lingered near the doorway, his coat still damp from the rain. He rubbed his temple with one hand. Exhaustion etched across his features. But his eyes softened when he looked at us. "You should take her home," he said gently. She needs sleep. You both do. I nodded. What happens now? The charges stand, he replied. Lily and Marcus will be held without bail. Donna will face obstruction, intimidation, and tampering. Harvey. Rowan paused, glancing toward the hallway where my father had retreated to cry in solitude. He didn't commit a crime, just 30 years of silence. And Evan, I asked quietly. He's going to get justice, Rowan said. Every piece of the truth is lined up now. My throat tightened. I brushed Mila's hair away from her forehead. Thank you. Rowan shook his head. You're the one who called. That took courage. Mila lifted her head slightly. Detective Rowan. He knelt in front of us again. Yes, sweetheart. Will Christmas be happy next year? His face softened. I think it will be the happiest one you've ever had. She nodded, satisfied, and tucked herself against my chest again. We gathered our coats and stepped into the cold night air. Snowflakes clung to Mila's eyelashes. She breathed in deeply as if the world finally felt big and safe again. As I buckled her into the car, she looked up at me sleepily. Mom, are we never going back there? No, I whispered. We're not. And I meant it. I drove home slowly, letting the quiet hum of the heater soothe Mila to sleep. By the time we reached our driveway, she was snoring softly, her cheeks smushed adorably against her car seat. I carried her inside, tucked her under blankets, and watched her chest rise and fall, with that perfect, steady rhythm only children have when they finally feel safe. I stood there for a long moment, just breathing with her. The next morning, sunlight spilled into the house, warm, soft golden. A stark contrast to the cold fear of the night before. The world felt gentler, lighter. I made hot cocoa for Mila and coffee for myself. We curled up on the couch together, wrapped in a blanket, the Christmas tree lights flickering faintly beside us. Are we okay now? She asked. We will be, I said. Healing takes time. But we're free now. Truly free. She smiled, a real one this time, not the hesitant half-smiles she'd been giving for months. Later that afternoon, we decorated our own tree our way without rules or perfect spacing or judgment. Mila placed a new ornament on the highest branch she could reach, a small red glass sphere, simple and unbroken. This one means we're safe, she said. I felt tears sting my eyes. Yes, it does. That evening, I lit a candle next to Evan's framed photo, his warm smile captured forever in a moment, far brighter than the one he died in. We told your story, I whispered, and now you can rest. The house felt whole again. Over the next few days, calls came and neighbors, co-workers, even distant relatives expressing shock, sympathy, apologies, stories of their own families, their own silences. I listened. I shared. I cried. I healed. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel alone. One afternoon, Harvey called. His voice shook as he apologized for not speaking sooner, for not protecting Evan, for not protecting me. I didn't offer him quick forgiveness, but I listened. I let him speak. And somewhere inside I accepted that surviving Donna for decades had broken him too. Healing didn't mean forgetting. It meant choosing differently. By Christmas Eve, Mila and I were ready. We baked cookies, played soft music, danced around the living room, and wrapped gifts in messy piles of paper and tape. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't fancy. It was ours. And it was peaceful. As we sat together watching snow fall outside the window, Mila leaned her head on my shoulder and said, "This is what Christmas is supposed to feel like." I kissed her forehead. "Yes, baby. This is what it's supposed to feel like." Later that night, after she fell asleep, I sat by the tree alone, letting the quiet wrap around me like a soft blanket. And I realized something. Revenge wasn't always about hurting someone back. Sometimes revenge was refusing to let the pain continue, refusing to hand trauma down like an heirloom, refusing to repeat the violence you escaped from. Sometimes revenge was choosing peace, and freedom, and a better life for the next generation. I took a deep breath and smiled to myself as the lights blinked softly on the branches. We had won. Not because Lily was gone, not because Donna's reign had ended, but because Mila and I had walked out of that house and into a future where love didn't hurt, didn't slap, didn't silence. A future where the truth finally mattered. And as I sit here now sharing this story with you, I want to invite you gently, sincerely into this space with me. If you've ever had to stand up for yourself, or break away from a toxic family, or protect a child when no one else would, you're not alone. Your voice matters. Your courage matters. And I would truly love to hear your thoughts. Share your story in the comments. Let's build a place where truth wins, where healing is real, and where strength is celebrated. And if this journey meant something to you, stay with us. Subscribe for more stories like this, stories where justice finds its way, where women rise, and where silence finally breaks. Thank you for being here, and take care of yourself. You matter more than you know.